In trigonometry, the following ratios are very, very important. Okay, we talk about the three main ratios which are very, very important. The first one has to do with sine, then cosine, then tangent. Okay, so this one, the shortcut is looking at this. Then this one is cos, and this one is tan. Okay, so in case you are talking about angle, let's say you are working on a particular angle, let's say theta, so you can say sine theta. So this one will be cos theta, then tan theta. Okay, now this is how you pronounce them. Okay, and when we talk about sine, now sine is given by opposite over hypotenuse. So there is something we call SOHCAHTOA. Okay, so that is how you can memorize these things. So the O here is for opposite and the H is for hypotenuse. So with this, we can say this is cos. So A is for adjacent, then the hypotenuse is there. So with the cos is given as adjacent over hypotenuse. Okay, then the T here is for tangent. So tan is given by opposite over adjacent. Okay, now in case you are given this right angle triangle, this side is 90. Okay, now let's call this side theta. That is where the angle is. Now let's observe something, how to mount the opposite, hypotenuse, and then adjacent. Okay, now how do we place our hypotenuse or adjacent, then our opposite? Now pay attention here. Now always the hypotenuse is the longest side, which always faces the 90 degrees. Okay, so this is the 90 degrees, so we can get it here. Not drawn to scale, this is 90, so my H will be here. This side is facing the 90 degrees, so that's the hypotenuse. Okay, so how do we locate the opposite? Now the opposite faces the angle. Okay, the opposite faces the angle, so the other side becomes adjacent. So after locating your hypotenuse and your opposite, the other side becomes the adjacent. That's that. Okay, so talking about the three main trig ratio, that is sine, cosine, and tangent. They may be positive or negative depending on the quadrant in which they lie. Okay, so let's talk about the quadrant. So we can talk about this. Okay, so 0, 90, 180, 270, then we are back to 360. Okay, so we call this cast. Now what this one means is that now from 0 to 90, we assume that this is for all the ratio in this quadrant are positive. Okay, so from 0 to 90, so all the ratio are positive in this quadrant. Now from 90 to 180 is for only sine. So only sine is positive in this quadrant. So in case you are given a question and it falls here, only sine will be positive in this quadrant. So tangent will be negative here, whereas cosine will also be negative in this quadrant. Now come to the third quadrant. So this is the first, second, third, then the fourth. So the first quadrant, all the ratios are positive. The second quadrant, only sine is positive. And the third, only tan. So tan lies between this. So we have 180, okay, 180 to 270, okay. And from 270 to 360 is for only cos. So only cos is positive in this quadrant. All right. So that's that. It's not difficult. Okay. So angles are measured in anti-clockwise direction from the positive x-axis. So under trig, angles are measured in an anti-clockwise direction. Talking about bearings is opposite. As for bearings, we start from the north and rotate clockwise to meet the angle of target. Okay, that's that. All right. So let's talk about how to calculate or how to express the following angles as an acute. In case you are given an angle and you are asked to express them as an acute angle. Okay. So okay, how do we express cos 120 as an acute angle? Okay, now before we tackle this question, ask yourself, what is an acute angle? What is an acute angle? Now, acute angle is an angle less than 90 degrees. Okay, so you want to write this as an acute angle. Okay, so let's locate our quadrants here. So we have 0, 90, 180, 270, then we are back to 360 degrees. All right. Now, just as we said in trig, angles here are measured in anti-clockwise direction. So anti-clockwise this way. So we start from here, then we move and measure 120. So 120 will fall here. Since from this side to this side is 180, we assume 120 will fall here. Okay. All right. So we need to measure this angle. Okay. We need to measure this angle here. So the angle here will be the acute angle for cos 120. So we have cos 120 degrees is the same as, so we know from here to this side is 180, and we've measured 120 degrees here. So 120 plus what value will make this side complete? So 120 plus 60 will make 180. So the acute angle here is cos 60. Okay, but let's check the quadrants. So we have cast. We said this side is the first quadrant, second, third, then fourth. So let's look at where the angle where we are working. So, okay, that quadrant, whether it's for cos or not. Okay, so this side is for only sine. only sine is positive in this quadrant, and therefore we will negate our answer. So it means cos 120 degrees is the same as negative cos 60. That's that. Now you can verify this on the calculator. Okay. Now go ahead and try the following. Now let's express the following as an acute angle. Okay. So we are talking about sine 150. Okay. So 0, 90, 180, 270, then you are back to 360. Okay, so 150. So let's start from here. 150 will fall here. Okay. So this side. Okay, so we need to measure this angle. Okay, so 150 plus 30. Okay, so sine 150 the same as, so let's look at the quadrant. Let's draw it here. Cast, yeah. So only sine is positive here, therefore we have sine 30. So you can verify this. Sine 30 the same as sine 150. Okay, so the direction is positive. All right, so let's turn to tan 170. Can you try that? Tan 170. So with this same thing, so it will fall here 170. So plus 10 will make it 180. So this one will be negative tan 10. So negative tan 10 is the same as tan 170 because only sine is positive in this direction. Okay. Go ahead and try the following. So we have sine 200. Sine 200. Okay, so 0, 90, 180, 270, then 360. Okay, so sine 200. So where do we locate 200? So we start from this way anticlockwise. So we close this direction. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we need to measure the angle. So this side. Okay. Okay. So we know from here to this side is 180. And from here to this side is 200. So 180 plus what value will give us 200? So 180 plus what value will give us 200? So we need to subtract 200, 180 from 200. So this side is 20. Therefore, sine 200 is the same as, so let's look at the quadrant. Cast. Okay, so this side is for only tan. So you say neg sine 20. Can you try cos 230? So try that. Let's see. Okay, so 230 also from here. All right. So we need to measure this side. We know everything is 230, and from here is 180. So we have 180 here. So we need to subtract 180 from 230 to get the acute angle. In the direction is negative because this side is for tan. Okay, so cos 230 is the same as negative cos 50. Okay. All right, so that's that. All right, let's try this. Tan 310 cos 300, then sine 320. Okay, so go ahead and try the following. Remember, still have this. So we have 270 to 360, 0 to 90, 90 to 270. Okay, so let's look at the acute angle here. So tan 310. So 0, 90, 180, 270. Then we are back to 360. So we start from here. Yeah. So we need to measure this. Sorry. Okay. So this one, we need to close this one with this one makes angle at a point. You know, from this side up to this side is 310. So 310 plus what value will make this one complete. Okay. All right. Now let me explain something here. When it falls in the second quadrant here, for instance, so if it falls here, okay, we close it with angle on a straight line. Now if it falls in the fourth quadrant here, we also close it with angle at a point. So note that. So if this side is 310, what value will make this one complete? So 310 plus what value will make this 360 to make it angle at a point? So 70. Sorry, 50. So 50 plus 310 is 360. Therefore, tan 310. And since this side is for only cos, okay, so we have negative tan 50 degrees. Okay, so that is the acute angle here. Now do same to cos 300, then sine 320. Okay, now let's talk about cos 300. So 300, so we need to add 60 to make it complete. So this side will be cos. So cos 300 is the same as cos 60 because this side is for cos. Then talking about sine 320, so plus 40, so we have negative sine 40, which is the same as cosine 320. All right, so now let's look at complementary angles. Now there are two angles which add up to 90 degrees. So we can talk about 40 degrees plus 50. Okay. So in trig, the sine of acute angle is equal to the cosine of its complementary angle. So this trick is very, very simple. So in case you are talking about sine 60 degrees is the same as cos 30 degrees. So 60 plus 30 is 90 degrees. Okay, that's that. So we can talk about so many examples. Okay, so sine 50 degrees the same as cos 40 degrees. So 40 plus 50 is 90 degrees. That's that. All right, so with this I can say sine 90 minus theta the same as cos theta. Okay, then cos 90 minus theta the same as sine theta. Okay, so if theta is, let's say, 40 degrees, just substitute. We have sine 90 minus 40 the same as cos 40. So 90 minus 40 is 50 degrees. So that's that. All right, so that is the meaning of complementary angles. Very, very important. Okay.